Morning. Good morning. Welcome to a cup of conversation and food for thought with me, Nita Simmons. I want to start off by saying I do not own the rights to the music. The music is just um, playing in the background to set the tone to contribute to the cup of conversation and food for thought. So thank you for joining the live. I am coming on today to always give honor and glory to Mother, Father, God, Universe. So thank you, God, for waking us up this morning. Thank you for keeping us and blessing us. Thank you for ordering our steps and directing our path. Thank you for watching over us as we slept last night. Continue to keep us and bless us. Thank you for keeping us covered under the blood and washed by the blood, covered by the blood, wonderful armor of God, the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, shield of faith, sword of God's holy word, but of truth and shoes of peace. Thank you for providing for us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, in every way possible. God, you are truly, truly an awesome God and worthy of all the praises. Thank you for being so wonderful and continuing to provide for us. Thank you for just keeping us and blessing us and ordering our steps and directing our path. God, you are so awesome and so wonderful. I pray for safe travel and mercies as we make it and move throughout the day to and from our destinations. I pray that you continue to just be there, God. God, less of me and more of you. Guard my mouth and allow me to speak and say what it is that you need me to say to your people and to flow. So, God, thank you for everything. And also giving much gratitude and respect to our big brother Jesus, to the archangels, guardian angels, all angels, knights, Christ light, ancestors, guardian ancestors, spirit team here and far. Thank you so much for all that you do. These blessings I pray in your holy name. Amen. I am tired this morning. So it is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Hump day. Yay, yay. So I need God to give me that strength and that energy to make it over the hump because I am tired today. So for the for those of you that are up this morning, thank you for coming in and joining us live. Much appreciated. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you for all of the viewers that keep coming back. Thank you so much. It's much appreciated. The umbrella of conversation that I'm talking about today is still in relationships, always about love. It's relationship applications. And I'm a very literal person, so thank you. Same to you. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. But yeah, the topic is relationship applications, and it's everything about relationships, all conversations in regards to relationships. Whatever direction that this conversation flows is where we're gonna go. Um, I am dedicated on coming on here to encourage, uplift, and to help you all out there see things in a different perspective that will allow you to move forward in your life and in your life situations. Um, Never do I come on here and say, do what I say what I do. I come on in, you are a grown up, you have your own free will. God give us all free will, so who am I to change that or take that away from you? I don't have no right to do that, nor will I do that. So I come on to just give you guys a different way of seeing things, a different way to maneuver to go into your day-to-day life situations, and perhaps give you a different way of looking at it so that you can see it a little bit better, understand it more, so that way you can move through. Because when you know better, you do better. And it's all about making it make sense to you, making it understandable for you so that you can understand how to maneuver and go forward in your life. Um, so relationship applications, when I looked at that, I'm real literal. I'm like, do we need to put out applications to individuals if they want to get with us? I remember talking to someone and they were saying, good morning, thank you for joining live. They would say that when you start to date nowadays, because of how everything is so out there and people so freely with giving up themselves, that if you're going on a date, your first date should be at the clinic or at the doctor's office so that y'all both can get checked out and get a record of your health before you move forward in a relationship. So when I looked at this topic, relationship application, that's what came to mind. Do we need to start setting out applications to see who our mate is, if they're if they're candidates or good candidates to be with us? Should we give a list of things out there for them to have to fill out, and then the best candidate gets the job? Or do we go back to basics and trust our intuition and trust our discernment and just, get to know a person and, you know, discuss relationship applications and give advice, share your dating tips. So yeah, so I'm coming on to just talk about, you know, that. What do you think about relationships and applications? Do you feel that, you know, it's cool to just go back to basics and have that normal conversation? You know, do you want to hang out? Would you like a cup of coffee? Can we go out and get coffee? Can we go out and have dinner or something like that? Or is it just, okay, let me get your number, and then you just show everything that you have to offer over the phone, and then decide whether or not that's a candidate for you in relationships? You know, this world is so different. It's changed a lot from when I was younger. Um, I'm getting up there in age, and I've been married for a certain about. I was with my husband for about 22 years before he passed. So I've missed 22 years of what the dating world has turned into. And then I went out there to try to figure out what it's like, and it's so much to the point to where maybe I might just be all right chilling with me, going back to basics and learning to love myself and learning to date myself and learning to just spend more time with myself. And I've learned that that's good for a little bit, but you still need that companionship. You still want to be around, excuse me, you still want to be around someone, because, we're made to be with somebody, no matter how strong our mind, our mouth might say, I don't need nobody. But we're built that way, to be with somebody, to have a companion, you know, in the long run. We're living in a world to where this world is going to make you or break you. And you have to decide what direction you're going to go in. The race is not given to the swift, but it's given to the one that endures to the end. And some of us are in this microwavable, fast-paced mindset or mentality that it's hard for you to cope and get through life the way that you should, because we're not taking it slow. We want to rush. And sometimes, when you're in situations, it took you a while to get there. So it just might take you a little bit to get out. It's not just snap, crackle, and pop. You're going to have to take the time to invest in self and to, you know, get to a point to where you need to get yourself right. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated. It's a slow start this morning. I am tired, but I'm flowing. For those of you that just joined the conversation, the topic at hand is relationship applications. So this is a conversation on anything, everything relationships. We can take it in whatever direction you feel it needs to go. I'm asking God to take control of this vessel, and as I speak to you, to give me topics that can gravitate to your attention, and for you to speak back and put in some input on the topic. But if you look at a lot of the, as you scroll through, like on TikTok, I look through and I see there's a lot of, people talking about different things, and they're having their groups of people dating on the application. And you look and you see all these spots and all these people just sitting there talking, and one person in the corner navigating and directing the whole platform. And I guess they're asking questions to see who is, what you're looking for, what's out there, what you'll put up with, what you won't. So that's another relationship application that you can find on the internet that people are using today to get to know people before they get to know people. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Thank you for the compliments. That's interesting to read the different lines that people put out there. Does that work for you when you use that in person or with other people? But I appreciate it, though. Thank you for the compliment. um, but yeah, like I said, sometimes my topics they hit or miss. Either way, I'm still gonna flow because I do believe that I am here to help somebody, and if I can help just one person, then I've done what I feel I need to do for that day, even if that person is myself. I've done what I needed to do, and I know that these recordings they do play on outside of the time that I actually go live and do it. So I understand that it may not help nobody now, but it will help somebody later. Um, I believe that communication and conversation is very important. Top of the morning to you too. Thank you for joining the live. How are you today? Um, it's Wednesday, hump day, yay, yay, and I'm trying to get over that hump so I can flow. I am feeling really tired. That bed was feeling really good this morning. I'm glad you're doing awesome. Thank you. So, what are your tips or what do you feel about relationship applications? What are some things that you can contribute to help other people in their relationships? What do you think works? How do you start? How do you approach the opposite or whoever it is that you find an interest in? Do you just walk up to them and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Thank you. Or do you ask for the number, or how you approach people? How do you start a relationship? How do you apply your or if you was to help someone else? Happy new month. That's right. It is a new month. It is April 1st. That's right. Happy new month to you as well. Well, I learned you can't change anybody. That's right. You can't change nobody. If you have, good morning, thank you for joining the live. If you think that you can change somebody, oh, you were sadly mistaken. People are not going to change unless they're ready to and they want to. So just lead by example. Good advice. Lead by example. You show people how to treat you, and and people are always watching. People are always watching. If you think that nobody is watching you, somebody is watching you. Somebody is learning from you. Put God first. Allow Him to direct your path. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Good advice. I always put God first. When I come on, I pray. I give, and if I didn't say thank you, God, thank you, God. But I try to remember to give God praise and honor and glory first thing in the morning. But sometimes you're tired. You're barely getting up. So, but yeah, I try to. And when I come on and before I go live, I try to pray first because I want to give honor and glory to God. And if I didn't tell you before or ask you to before, please like, share, and subscribe. Please check me out on many platforms. I have a lot of videos that's on YouTube. You can find some on Facebook. I see the light and you. Thank you for being so beautiful and positive. Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's the God in me that is shining through so that I can share that God with all of you. I believe that we all have a purpose in life. And we don't all have the same purpose, but we have a purpose nevertheless. And I believe that it's my purpose to come on and encourage, uplift. And I believe, we can heal one another through communication and conversation. So this whole purpose of this cup of conversation is to come out and to express how important communication is in the healing process, and how, based off of me having to keep my mouth shut for so long and not having to say what I wanted to say. Thank you for joining my live. Right next door. um, but I do appreciate communication and conversation now more than ever that I can speak it, because there was a time where I had to hold my tongue. And that can be stressful and painful all in itself. So being able to be free within yourself and be free to express yourself, that's big. That's a big deal. There's a lot of people out here that feel like they're stuck, like they can't say anything, they can't move because they feel like they got to be a certain way. But learn to love yourself and respect yourself and encourage you, and put God first in your life, and take that time to do self-checks. Check into yourself. Check in to see where you at. Check in with God and yourself. Meditate. That's all important. You need that. We change daily. We're not the same person we was 5 months ago. We're not the same person we was 1 month ago. We're not even the same person we was 1 week ago. We got to constantly check in with self. Am I good? How I'm feeling? Am I getting enough rest? Am I eating proper foods? Am I getting enough fresh air? You know, thank you. So you have to check in with yourself. And the more you check in with yourself and you're confident and know that you're good and love yourself, oh, that's the key thing right there. You got to love yourself. Love yourself. Keep being who you are. God gave you the purpose to do his will. Thank you. Virginia in the house. Much appreciated. And I'm going to keep on moving and going. As long as God give me breath in my body, I'm going to keep going. I believe that we all have a purpose and we all are examples for one another. Even if you feel like you're not, if you go out in the workplace, you got a job, you have coworkers that's going to look up to you. You got customers that's going to look up to you. As parents, you got children that's going to look up to you. As educators, you have other children and teenagers that's going to look up to you. You should be liking the live too. Come on now. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, yes, like the live, tap. Thank you for joining the live. How you doing? Yeah, tap the lives, tap, like, and, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. How are you? Can be friends. Hello, thank you for joining the live. We're all friends. You come on here to check on me and see what the conversation is every morning. Good morning from Kentucky. Kentucky's in the house. So, but yeah, and coming on live and the interaction and everything that you do. Great. Thank you. How are you doing? Thank you for the compliment. Much appreciated. But yeah, the conversation, this cup of conversation, food for thought, flows really well when you speak back and contribute and be respectful. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you so much for the compliment. Much appreciated. Thank you for the lives. Just woke up. Yeah, I feel like I just did too. I'm doing great. I hope that you all are doing well too. For those that just joined in, the conversation that we're talking about, or the umbrella that we're under, is relationship applications. I was on yesterday, and I don't know if I finished the conversation we talked about yesterday. But I don't remember what the topic was. So if you were on yesterday and you remember, please bring it back to our attention. Gorgeous. Well, thank you for sharing. But yeah, so yeah, relationship applications. What are some applications? What are some things that just send it up? Thank you. What was I going to say? Sorry, I'm reading the comments on there. I put God first and I love me. That's my secret. Thank you. But yeah, if you love yourself and learn to discover who you are, appreciate who you are, know who you are, know whose you are, and know what you carry, and believe in yourself, all that shows. It's going to come out and show. It's going to show in your appearance. It's going to show in your attitude, and people are going to feel it. So the more you love yourself and know without a shadow of a doubt who you are, what you carry, and 100%, you're not going to let this world try to change you. I'm on every day around 5 o'clock in the morning. I try to be at exactly 5 o'clock, but sometimes, late, a few minutes or so. But 5 a.m. every morning, Eastern Standard Time, a cup of conversation and food for thought with me, Nidra Simmons. Let me phrase that. Monday through Friday. On the weekends, I'm going to get some rest. So I might come on later on the weekends, but I still come on in the morning time. But sorry, I come on Monday through Friday around 5. I try to stay on for about an hour. For some reason, I don't see the timer to see how long I was on. But anyway, okay. Usually I see a timer that tells me how long I've been on, but I try to stay on for about an hour. And if it goes longer, mainly on the weekends, I'll go longer. But during the week, I still have to get up and I'll go to work. So, morning chat, relationship advice, and self love. Share your tips. I like how the AI sums up what I take 5 minutes to say and add it in just 1 second in like a sentence. But I thank you all for joining the live. Again, much appreciated. But yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. It's Wednesday. I am tired. I'm flowing. So if it seems like I'm repeating myself, because I am, I'm trying to stay on track. Thank you for the hearts. Much appreciated. But yeah, we want to continue to love on us and do those check-ins so that we every enjoy your day. Chat later. Okay. Well, thank you for joining the live. I hope something was said that was encouraging and uplifting to you and would make you want to come back again. I have the music playing in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. I can't play it too loud. I'm trying to be respectful, but normally I'll have that music kind of loud. But yeah. So share with us, what are some for people out there that's just now getting out in the dating field, or for people that's been in relationships for so long and now they're single and they want to pursue in a relationship. What are some tips would you give to these people that's coming out here in this world for the first time in a long time, or for the first time period? Thank you. Much appreciated. But yeah, what is some advice? I can tell you, if you want to go on them date nights, the dating apps, you need to be brave, strong-minded, and have some healthy boundaries before you go out there on those dating apps. I'm not discouraging people from going on those apps because people created them and they make money off of them, and everybody need to work to make money in this world. But I'm simply saying, if you are an individual and you're going on these apps, make sure that you have some healthy boundaries set in place for yourself and that you stick with them. Because you're going to meet some very interesting people out there. You meet some interesting people on the lives as well. But when you get to the point to where you're going to meet with these people face to face, you need to make sure you set some ground rules in place for your protection and for your sanity. But also, speak and communicate with whoever you're trying to get with. You speaking from experience. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So dating apps is not for me. I am old fashioned. If we can't meet over the telephone and have a conversation to get to know you and feel comfortable through the phone before I get to meet you in person, I don't know other way I have to do it, because I'm not doing them dating apps. Not for me. But that's not to discourage other people. Please, if that's your fancy, just do it with caution. I am great. How are you doing? Hi, my dear friend. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you all for joining the live. Nice to meet you as well. But any way that you go, even if it's not just the dating apps, but just as you proceed to move forward and just walk outside your house, you need to make sure you have healthy boundaries. Thank you. You need to have healthy boundaries set in place for yourself. Healthy boundaries for yourself and attainable ones for yourself. Don't set boundaries so high that you can't follow them yourself, and then you expect other people to follow. No, you need to do reasonable boundaries that's going to protect you and then protect others as well, you from others, so that you can flow. But yeah, we was talking about something yesterday. I said we'll continue it today, but I don't know where I put the paper at. I had to do an assignment yesterday, and it kept me up and got me sleepy this morning. But we talked, and I'll just recap some of the things that we talked about because I have a lot of little notes up here. We talked about within the past couple of weeks. I think I've been talking about relationships for the past 3 or 4 weeks. And I find that to be an interest. At first, I was nervous to talk about relationships. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do definitely think differently. I'm different. If somebody was to say, "Hey, need you describe yourself," one word, different. I am different. There is no other person like me. I am the only one like me that thinks the way that I think. They, I'm just different, and people have come to agree with me. You are definitely different. I am, and I used to be ashamed of that because I was like, well, I want to be like, what's that saying? I want to be like Mike, but no, I'm comfortable with being who I am. I'm comfortable in my skin now, and I don't need to be like nobody else, and I don't try to be like somebody else. I love me enough to be like me, and you should love you enough to be like you. Learn and come up with your own, perspective, personality, way of being. I'm reminded to when I my kids, right? So right, when my children got of a certain age, and I'm like, okay, you know what? It's time for you to decide who you want to be, your style, or whatever the case might be. God blessed me with the opportunity to go ahead and take them shopping. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to let you go ahead and get what type of clothes you want to get. I want to see it first before we buy it because I need to make sure that you're not going out there wearing half of nothing. But, I let them go out and pick their own stuff. And I was amazed to see how, they came into their own personality. They came into their own being and they have their own style. Out of my four, they all have their own style and it's all respectable, you know. So I'm advising you all to do the same for yourself. Learn who you are, get to be comfortable with you are and who you are, and develop your own style and be happy and with your own style. Don't worry about trying to be like somebody else. Be like you. Be that trendsetter. You might be the next famous person on the runway with just your style of grace, clothes, and whatever the case might be. People put all of that into the style of clothing. So when you are making clothes, it reflects all of that. It comes from somebody's idea, imagination, creativity. And we all have it. Exercise it. Learn how to be authentically, unapologetically you. Be respectful in all that you do by all means. But, learn how to find out your niche, your personal ingredient. What makes you, you know, I always say to myself too, I'm like fine wine. I have an acquired taste. You have people you meet that have these straight face and you can't tell, do you talk to them or do you ignore them? And you just, you be confident in who you are and be confident in your capabilities and just move forward. I don't know if I'm jumping around from subject to subject, but it's all reflected in love. It's all reflected in loving yourself. It's all reflected in moving forward. And you are your application for relationships. The way you present yourself, the way that you um, converse with people, the way that you make other people feel, all that is in the line of applications towards relationships. People get to know you through how they feel if they, how you gravitate to them or how you click troll, invite you to co-host. All right, someone's asking me to co-host. Is that for me to go on your site or is that something for here? Because it didn't click on the thing that I normally would click on if somebody wants to come on this live. But it went off some. But yeah, I'm still talking about relationship application. I'm giving you a different way of looking at that particular phrase. And that's all I do when I come on. I come on to give you a different perspective on how to see something. Not saying that your way is wrong by no means. You have your own thought process and you think the way that you do. So I'm not here to discourage how you think. I'm not here to overpower what you feel. I'm just coming on and give you a different way to look at something. That's all. Because I don't want people to come on and overpower me and take my thoughts and run with it or take my thoughts and step on it and then come out with their own. No, I think we all have something important of value to say, to each other or to this world. We need each other in this world. And if you think you don't, you're mistaken. Thank you. Thank you very much. We all need each other in this world. Even the strongest man and the strongest woman still need somebody in this world. Um, you know, you can be so confident in yourself, and I'm thinking of Scrooge, his character in that particular in the story. He was very stingy, and he thought very highly of himself, and didn't think about nobody else. But in the end, realized he needed somebody. He was lonely, and sometimes you got people that's got everything and at the top, but lonely. You still need people, whether it's just to have someone come in and say, well, you know what, good morning. How are you today? Someone to show some concern. And we have to learn to not take people for granted. I shared on a couple of my lives before that, people like to humble. I'm going to say me, for example. I'm going to use me because I can always talk about me. I try to be as respectful and nice to people as much as possible. And I give and I give and I give and I give and I give, even if I don't receive. Well, sometimes, I'm human. If I keep giving, I'm going to get tired. You keep running, eventually you're going to get tired. You walk long enough, eventually you're going to get tired. So if I'm giving and I'm not feeling that you're giving back, at some point I'm going to get tired. So I'll stop. And it shouldn't be to the point to where I stop giving for you to be appreciative of me. Or if I stop giving, you want to now, oh, wait, I ain't getting this and it's been a minute. And some people set off to, if you know that you are always giving and for people, and then they take you for granted, and then you don't give, and then they all of a sudden want to humble you, because that's where I start this conversation. They decide to make an example or try to humble you. So they'll say, oh, okay, well, you know what? She ain't called me today, or she ain't do this today. Well, then I ain't going to do this, and I ain't going to do that. Thinking that person going to be like, oh, wait, I ain't here for you, sweating them up on them. And it's not always like that. Hello, thank you for joining the line. At some point when you're tired of something, you're not gonna keep calling. You're just gonna go sit down and rest, or just sit down and out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, however you want to put it. And you're not going to call that person. But in their mind, they're thinking that they're doing they're setting an example. They're trying to humble you. Okay, well, if she ain't gonna call me, or she ain't gonna do this, well, I'm not gonna do that. You keep thinking like that. That person just won't call. I can see your thoughts. You can see my thoughts. What's your thought on that? Do you try to humble people? Do people humble you? Because I've come from a long lineage of past people that tried to humble me. People that don't even know me for real. They know of me through other people and their word of mouth. And, sometimes me personally, I'm so tired of being humbled. It's to the point now where if you feel you have to humble me, then peace. Peace be with you. And go on your way, and I'll go on mine. Leo, that would never happen. Okay, well, good to know. But, we got people that like to humble others. Okay. But, yeah, we should not want to humble people, Be honest, use your words, say what you mean what you say, and move on. People feel like you can't see what they're doing, because those same people that try to humble me used to say, I ain't trying to do that. They tried to make me feel like I was insecure of myself. And you all out there got to be careful of other people throwing their insecurities onto you. Recognize, and that's why I say it's so important to love yourself and know yourself. Know who you are, know whose you are, and know what you carry. So that way, when other people try to throw their insecurities on you, it's like you develop this slickness on your skin. So whatever they try to throw on you, it just slides right on off. Doesn't penetrate, doesn't have no effect on you. It just slides right on off. And the only way you can get to that point is when you learn to love yourself and know who you are, and know who you are, and know what you carry. And I'm going to say that a few more times until it sinks in, okay? Because you need to know who you are. We're in a world to where the world is going to try to, it's so fast paced. And it's going to try to get you off track. It's going to try to throw you off track. It's going to try to get you to the point to where you're not thinking of anything else but self, about self. I'm, I'm glad you know who you are, baby. And stick with that. Always know who you are. Um, but yeah, you have to know who you are, and don't let this world change who you are. I mean, this world will make you worry about bills and bills. Did I say bills? Bills, and it'll make you think about everything else other than who you are. And then it'll once you start doing that, you'll start to take away from who you are, and you'll start to come against yourself, and you'll start doing things where you're not receiving the rest that you need. You're not thinking in your right mind. You're not eating like you're supposed to. You're not doing what you're supposed to love yourself. Good morning. Thank you for joining live. So you need to you need to make sure that you are putting yourself first, and you're not selfish for putting yourself first. You love yourself first and foremost before you love others. If you can't take care of you or good for you, how are you going to be good for them? God, I always automatically is inside of me. So when I say love yourself, that's loving the God that's in you. You are created in the image of God. God's the big G. Because you are created in the image of God, and your spirit housing inside this flesh, you're the little G. So you are of God that God created, because God lives within you. And you love yourself, and that's reflected in you loving God. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. So don't be so fooled with other people in this world. Be confident in yourself and who you are. That way you won't, no one else can put their insecurities on you. Nobody else can humble you. And if they try to humble you, you can see through it. Even though they'll try their best to make it seem like, oh, no, I'm not trying to humble you. Okay, what do you call it then? That's when you learn your thesaurus of words, and you break down what humble is, and you break down it until you find the word that they gravitate to, and then you can say, okay, cool, agree to disagree, but we're agreeing because it falls down under the thesaurus of words of humbling, and you can move on from that point, because people don't like to, they don't want you to prove them right. No, right, you over me, and then they try to make it seem like you put yourself on a pedestal and that you do no wrong. I never claim to say I never do wrong. I live in this world, and I am not perfect. I strive to be. There is no perfect person on this planet right now. There was people put in place through our research that we learned about Jesus who was close to perfect, that lived this world. But even then, Jesus made, he's not perfect. God is the only perfect, the spirit, the creator. That's the only perfect being. So, I don't claim to be perfect. I make mistakes daily, but I am not my mistakes. I am not my past decisions and choices. I am who I am, who God created me to be. And I am a woman of God. And I am who I am. So, and same for you out there. You're not your past mistakes. You're not your past decisions. You're not your past choices. Everything that you've done in the past was life lessons to bring you to where you are. And if you're still breathing and still living right now, at this day, at this point, pat yourself on the back because you're doing good. You're continuing on. You're moving. Everything that you've done in the past is a lesson that brought you here, and everything that you do at this point, this is why it's important to stay grounded, is going to affect what you do in the future. So right now, the gift, the present that we're in, is what we're doing now to perfect where we came from and what we've done, so we can make the future better. And we can only do that if we stay present and grounded in the here and now. I hope that made sense to you all out there. Because a lot of people, and I said this yesterday, and I'm probably going to say this a few more times in my next couple of lives. People know you or know of you 10, 20, 30 years ago. I'm about to be 50 this year. If you knew me 30 years ago, I am not the same person I was 30 years ago. I have went through life, and life has been living and lifing, and I've been through a lot. I may not look like it, and that's intentional. I don't want to look like what I've been through, because I want you all out there to see that you can go through some stuff. You can be into the thick of it and still get through it and get to the other side and still look good. You don't have to look like what you went through. You can show others, because we're all being watched, how you made it through just by surviving, just by being here. So that's why I said, if you made it this far, pat yourself on the back, because you're still here. You have a purpose. You have a reason of being here. You have, meaning for your being. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. I thank you for my supporter in the next room. Much appreciated. Living life, the best of my ability. That's what I'm doing today. What are you doing today? But yeah. For those of you who are just coming on, this is a conversation on relationships, on love, on what is your relationship application towards relationships and love. Can we have a conversation? We're having a cup of conversation and some food for thought. Let me know how it's going. But yeah, I do not know how long I've been on, because the timer that I usually look at is not there. I wonder why is that? Oh, okay, I do see it. They changed it. Oh, they changed it. Okay, technology, y'all. Things change just like that. It's 5:57, yes. And I've been on for 42 minutes. There was a thing that has a timer on it that was on one side of my screen. Now they moved it and squeezed it in a little small side of the screen, so now I can see how long I've been on. That's what I was using to guide me on, to know how long I've been on for the live. But thank you for letting me know the time. Much appreciated. I see it now. But yeah. So if you don't leave with anything from this conversation today, other than love yourself, set healthy boundaries for yourself, and I'm going to even go as far as to say, forgive yourself first and foremost, and forgive others. When you're forgiving others, it's not for them, it is for you. I don't know if people realize that they hold an imaginary string attached to these people that they don't forgive. They may not know what you're feeling, or even have any clue of what it is that they may have done to you. In other words, they're moving on with their life, and they're living their life, and they're doing their own thing. Have you ever heard something you never heard before that got you cut up? Elaborate. I'm pretty sure I have. But yeah, you give them this control, and they're not even thinking about you. You're creating a one-sided competition in a relationship with someone that has moved on in their life. So we need to forgive others and move on. I never say forget. You don't forget. You need to know and remember, so that you know where not to go and what path not to cross. And you need to deal with those emotional feelings that was created at that time. Now, when I said that we're not our past, we're not our past. We can't go back to the past if certain things has happened as far as physical, because usually, and if things happen in the past and you're in here now, you've grown, you've aged, you're not the same size, age, mindset, person, whatever the case might be. So you don't forget, but whatever emotional attachment that was there, that you have to make sure you fix. You may have to relive that emotion to get through it, to get past it, acknowledge it, speak on how it made you feel, and move on. And then live your life. Sometimes it might take a minute or so before the sting completely goes away, but it will go away eventually. So always go through your emotions. I never say not to. Your emotions are your navigators to move forward in life. I said this because I never got I am proud of you until I heard it from someone that almost destroyed you. Oh, okay. Well, what I got out of that is someone is proud of you, but you be proud of yourself. And I'm sorry that somebody came to that close to try to destroy you. I don't know the whole intake of that situation. You do. But what I can add to that is whatever emotion or feeling that you had dealt with in that situation, you need to deal with it. Go through it. Acknowledge what you felt, acknowledge how it made you feel, acknowledge that, you I always say, God, I acknowledge what I'm feeling. I know what it is now. I'm I'm cool. I got it. Now can I get past it so I can be healed from it and move on? You have to acknowledge these feelings and then go through them and then go move on from it. Once you feel it, those are so important. And you need to learn that from an early age. And then hopefully there's somebody there that can coach these young folks on what they're feeling with these emotions. So when they move on through life, they have a connection of what it is that they're feeling. And then they can better understand themselves and they can better move around certain situations because they know how to deal with their personal emotions. And I think it's so important because we got so many people that, lived in the past and they live in a household that says, what goes on the house, stay in this house. You don't take this outside and that's it. No one takes the time to explain what you're feeling and why you're feeling what you're feeling. And this too shall pass. Instead, they're holding on to this stuff up until way in their 60s. And then they're getting triggered by people and things because they're so tired, sick and tired. And when you get sick and tired of something, you're going to respond and react to it. And then it triggers them. And sometimes it triggers them in a negative way. And we have all these unhealed people moving in the world, sharing and spreading more unhealed onto other people. What were you doing to get that praise for that first time? Oh, okay. What were you doing? What were you doing to get that praise for the first time? It's all from the beginning and the things you didn't get from childhood. You grow up looking for. And that's true. That's true. I didn't get the first question. But oh, you're asking that person. Okay. But yeah, it's true. We a lot of the things that we go through now, a lot of the mental stress and the unsolved things that we're going through or issues that we're going through that we're passing on to other people is unhealed situations. And healing is a process. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. How are you doing this morning? Healing is a process. Huh? And I never got that from my parents. I bought the property and I never got that from my parents or siblings. I am good friend. Thank you for the compliment. I'm going back to the other one. It says, oh, you're talking to her. Okay. I bought property and I never got that from. Well, that's wisdom and knowledge that you developed throughout your life. And you took the time, I'm assuming, to learn how to do that, right? Healing is a process. And if anybody say, oh, I'm healed. Okay, you healed now. Live life a little bit longer. You're going to go through something that might trigger something. And we get tested. I don't know if people like to hear that or not. I like to be honest as possible. We get tested in life on things that we are supposed to be healed from. I believe there's power in your words. Who is this request? I don't know who that is. But yeah, we we get tested through life to see if we really mean what we say and say what we mean. So if you're going to claim to be healed, understand it's a process and it's a continuous thing. You can get to a point to where the sting is out and you can move forward, but it's still a process. And you can get to the point to where you are comfortable in moving forward. And when you get to that point, that's a good thing because then you can continue to live life. But I was reading, so I think my thoughts kind of got scattered. So let me drink my cup of coffee, reset my mind for a minute. And the song got my attention too. Yes, and praying to complete my healing. That's right. And going back to why I think communication is important, it's not a bad thing to speak and share with your mate if you are going. Sorry, y'all. If you're going through a healing process, it's not bad to share that with the individual that you're with, because y'all can help each other. We're not always in competition with one another. And communication and how you speak to people and your response that you get from others, you can learn if somebody's in competition with you. I've been in situations where, the other person was in competition with me and I didn't know, you know, and there's been times I'm pretty sure that I felt like I was in competition with the other person. But, that's why you have to do those check-ins. That's why you have to sit there and check in with yourself. Wait a minute. This don't seem right. This, why am I feeling this way? When are you going to get to that point, little girl? You look so fresh and red. Love the hair. Thank you. Love the earrings. Thank you. These earrings was a gift. It says teacher. That's what I am, a teacher. Thank you. But yeah, I am. We all are teachers, on some level or another. I said earlier in the post that we are all being watched, whether it's on a healthy level of being watched or if it's on a non-healthy level of being watched. We are all being watched. As soon as you walk out your house and into this public world, you are an example for somebody. Somebody's looking at you, whether they're looking up at you. Very correct. Love your spirit and right you are. Yeah, whether they're looking up at you or whether they're looking at you. Whether they're looking up at you or if they're looking down at you, they're watching you. So, you are a teacher, whether you choose to be or not, So you should want to move with, respect and with love. I try to move in love. I don't try to. I move in love every day. And sometimes my love might look like it's very firm. Sometimes my love might look like it's inviting. Sometimes my love might look like I don't know. Stay away. Nevertheless, I consider myself the rawest form of love. Love is an action. Love can be words. Love is what you make it. And love is what you believe love to be, because we all have our own perception and understanding of what love is. I don't think you should tell your partner everything just for future sake. You know what? There's some truth in that. Use your discernment and your discernment and your what's the other word I'm looking for? What is love to you? Tina Turner said, it is a secondhand emotion. For Tina Turner, it's a secondhand emotion. For somebody else, it might be an action of kindness. How does one get discernment? We all have discernment. Discernment is in us. If you can learn to sit down and quiet your thoughts, breathe, and just listen, you can activate your discernment. We all have it. If somebody's, I disagree, little one. You disagree? What, you don't think we all have discernment? We all have it. Discernment is something that's developed. Now, whether you choose to listen and follow it, no, everybody has that. No, everybody had that. Okay. We can agree to disagree. I believe that we all are created in the image of God. We're spirit beings housed in this body, this flesh. And I've always tell people that we're duality. We're good and we're evil. Good morning and happy new month. I pray this month brings you endless blessings and fresh start. Thank you. Same to you. But we all have duality. We have good and we have evil. We have God and we have the devil as far as the capabilities and abilities of what they offer. Good and evil. We all have that within this one flesh. We are duality. Just like God has created man and woman, just like God, I believe, is man and woman, because we're made in God's image, we have gifts and abilities within us. It's not all the same level. It may not all be the same thing, but we all have them. And because not all are chosen, just a few, many are called. I didn't say we are chosen. I said we all have discernment. I understand the word says few are called, some are called and few are chosen. I understand that. Are called, but only a few chosen ones here. And the key word you say is choice, and that's what I was getting at. We have duality. You can choose to be good and get good consequences, or you can choose to be bad and get bad consequences. The choice ultimately is up to you. You still have both. You have the ability. You have it in you, but the choice is ultimately up to you. Okay? So when I say we all have discernment, I'm not wrong. We all have the ability to activate discernment. We all have our intuition. That is built in the human being flesh. That is part of us. But if you're not sitting down, taking the time to meditate and listen, I feel like once you completely heal, your transformation makes you look different for what you was. Okay. Um, but what I was saying, you have the choice. So if you say we don't have discernment or people don't have discernment, the choice of them responding and acting like they don't have discernment, that's a choice that they made. That doesn't mean it wasn't in them. It just says that their action and their choices show different. And we all have perceptions of what we think. And I don't really care for that word perception because it takes something that is personal in one way and it opens it up and make it everybody else's way. So we have discernment, we have intuition. It's part of us. Just like we have breath in the body, we breathe. Just like we have the senses. Some of our senses are heightened more than others because some of them don't work as well or we don't use it to activate it. So it's there. So we're going to agree to disagree, but I just want to prove my point on why I feel like we all have discernment and intuition. It's in us. The choice that we make, because God gives us all free will, reflects on the being of that person. Gotta go. See you later. All right. Have a good one. Enjoy your day. It's almost at that hour point, so we'll be getting off here shortly too. But I hope that this conversation was helpful. I hope that this conversation was enlightening. I hope that it did exactly what it was supposed to do, which was encourage, uplift, and to allow you to see things from a different perspective, or same perspective but a different angle. All I'm trying to do is make it make sense to you. All I'm trying to do is, if you're quick to want to judge or say something about somebody else, find out why we do what we do before you sit there and just do, oh, look at that. Find out why we do what we do before you sit there and try to, put a title on somebody. Yeah, I got something on my lip. But anyway, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you all for your support and all your help and all those hearts, and thank you for contributing to the conversation. You have played your part in healing somebody else today. So give kudos to you and a hand clap to you, because if you had came back in and we had a conversation back and forth, our conversation, believe it or not, has helped somebody. If not yourself, it helps someone who is listening, and it will help someone else who will listen to this live. So shout out to you. Pat yourself on the back. You are all partakers in helping somebody move forward today and do something better, or to see something from a different perspective. That goes back to me saying we need one another in this world. We have people that's pushed to do things on their own. Don't end it. I have to end it, but we'll be back tomorrow. I have to start the rest of my day. Just like some of you out there has to start the rest of your day. But I want to thank you all again, and please check me again tomorrow, Lord willing. We'll be back on tomorrow around 5 o'clock. This has been a cup of conversation and food for thought with yours truly, Nidra Simmons. Please check me out on all the platforms, and again, please like, share, subscribe, um, and leave your comments. Nidra Simmons is my name. You can find me on Facebook under Nidra Simmons, uh, YouTube under Nidra Simmons. I am Nidra33333 on TikTok, on Instagram. I am totally over it, or Designs by Nidra, where I make jewelry, and you can see some of the pieces I have up there. Nedra. So until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Remember, God love you. You love you. Until next time. Peace.